Hello, everyone, and good afternoon from Qatar. Well, thanks for your patience. Thanks for joining our webinar, AI for Business Users. I want to make sure that everyone can hear me and, of course, shortly can hear our speaker. Can you give me thumbs up if you can hear me? Okay, well, we have one, we have two. Thank you so much for the confirmation. My name is Rula Ramahi. I'm the Senior Marketing Manager at TeKnowledge, and it's my pleasure to be your host. I will be taking care of your questions at the back end and any support you need from our side. Before we start, may I ask you, in case your mic is on, to switch off your mic while the speaker is presenting. And we already start recording the session. And please allow me to introduce our speaker and our expert trainer, Ayman Al-Khulaifi. I will say a few words. Please give me 1 minute. Yeah, Ayman is here. Ayman Al-Khulaifi is a Microsoft certified trainer and IT technical advisor at TeKnowledge with a 16 years career experience covering IT management, operations, support, training, technical services, and learning and development. Ayman has been a lead in promoting AI and machine learning knowledge. With his IT background, Ayman has developed educational strategies, led transformative AI and machine learning training programs that enhance digital skills and leadership capabilities crucial for the digital era. This is everything from my side. I will hand over the mic to you, Ayman, and enjoy the webinar.
Thank you, Rola. Hello, everyone. I hope you can see me. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes.
I'd like to thank you all for joining me today in this session where we will be speaking about AI for business users. In short, we will summarize the whole idea about artificial intelligence, and then we will delve into generative AI, or what we call Gen AI. In our agenda today, we'll take a look at the main concepts of AI, a quick history lesson about AI, and different types of AI, machine learning. We'll take a look at deep learning and the difference between machine learning and deep learning. Then, what is generative AI? How all these concepts relate? And then, generative AI being the new skill that everyone needs to have. Building on that, we will deep dive into prompting and prompt engineering. And then we will clarify some misconceptions about AI and generative AI in general. The reason behind it, what is it doing, what are the capabilities, what is the future, and so on, and the effect on employees, the effect on our personal life, and so on. We will close the session with some tools related to every concept we discussed in generative AI. Like when we talk about generating text or images or videos and so on, I'll be sharing with you a couple of tools for that matter. At the end of the session, we will have a Q&A session. But during the session, if you have any question, feel free to pick the mic and speak, or drop it on the chat window. Me and my colleague will gather all these sessions and address all these questions and address them on the Q&A session. So without further ado, let's begin. Before I carry on, I really like the session to be interactive. If not on spot, I know it's 1 hour and it's not really enough for lots of interactivity, but at least take notes of the URLs of the tools that I'm sharing. Write down your questions. Don't forget to ask them. Even if the time is not enough to address them now, we have your contact and we will make sure to address all of these questions later on. So to begin the interaction, let me ask you, what is AI? What do you know about AI? In like a short sentence, maybe a name of an application. What is AI to you? You can speak, you can type on the chat window. Doing things faster. Thank you, Mazen. Yes, wonderful. Doing things faster, indeed. Making life easier. Yes, Ariel, 100%. So doing things faster, which in turn will help you do your work and then make your life easier in short. That's why when we define AI, we say it's the ability for the machines or the software to imitate the human brain capabilities, the human brain cognitive capabilities into performing tasks. So any task your brain can do or human being can do, we're expecting the AI to be able to do it. From thinking to analyzing to solving problems, finding patterns in data, finding insights in data, imagining, being creative, and understanding language. All of these tasks or all of these cognitive capabilities should be there on a machine in order to be called, or a software, in order to be called artificial intelligence. This is the new era. Everything we will be speaking about today should be, and it's already part of your daily life. The skills that you will gain out of this training will allow you to perform better on your tasks, whether it was personal or professional. Yeah, because who did not write an email with ChatGPT, for instance, so far? Who did not rephrase text with content? Who with Gen AI? Who did not generated an image? Those who didn't, well, you're in the right place. Those who did, let's expand your knowledge. A quick history lesson. Before I begin, let me ask you: when do you think AI started? There was a spoiler, but it's not the actual answer. So tell me, type it or speak. When do you think AI started? Waqas is saying 56. And then we have Arzer saying 2000. We recently started hearing about AI a couple of years back. So we have past century. We have, okay, wonderful, wonderful. Well, yeah. Actually, the actual term AI was coined in 1956. Okay, but then the actual AI study and research and concept was not on 56. It was earlier than that. Um, the main driver or the main person who started to think that, you know what, those machines are a little bit dumb, they need to learn, was Alan Turing. Yeah, and that was in somewhere between 40s and 90s. Sorry, 40s and 50s. So Alan Turing created the Turing test. Alan Turing was behind the abstract machine, they called it at that time, which is basically the computer we're using now, right? And if you're into movies, go to Netflix and watch The Imitation Game. It's all about Alan Turing. So this is the beginning of the whole field of artificial intelligence. However, it was actually introduced by the name artificial intelligence in 1956 by John McCarthy. It was a university project. McCarthy decided 7 factors. If those factors exist in any application or some of them, then we can call it an AI. And these factors are the capabilities we've been mentioning: the ability to understand language, process the language, the ability to see, computer vision, and reasoning, and generalized learning, and so on. Fast forward 1957, exactly, the research of AI started. But then we had a couple of AI winters, we call them. Those AI winters are setbacks. The development of AI went on until the 70s, but then early 70s, we had the first setback of AI, which means the governments that were funding the research of AI stopped funding it because they didn't see any result. It was just research and research and research, and nothing yielded out of that research. So, in order to overcome this winter phase, um, we moved into expert systems. Those expert systems are um, directing AI instead of being general or generic into certain domains. So we had an expert system on agriculture, another expert system on logistics, expert system on, and so on. Then we started to see results, but those expert systems used to be run on expensive machines, hardware and software, because there was a programming language called Lisp, the only language. So the AI wasn't affordable for every organization to have, and that caused another setback. Beside the abilities that they want to reach from machine learning and algorithm and advanced analytics and so on, there was no processor or memory that can actually help doing that at that time. That again caused another winter, which is the second winter, on the 1980s to the 90s. So why is it booming all of a sudden? Well, technology around AI, the supporting technology and other emerging technologies helped AI evolving. Instead of we were looking at CPUs, now we have GPUs. Yeah, the ability to process big data, cloud computing, um, and so on. So all of these helped into evolving AI. Fast forward 2011, now we have Dr. Watson from IBM. We have Siri, Google Brain, and so on. And we recently started hearing about ChatGPT. However, what we heard about was GPT-3. There are two versions before that. But again, the wider exposure, the better the technologies and so on, um, yielded better applications like GPT-4, uh, Bard, rest in peace. It's called Gemini now, and so on. So that was a quick history lesson about the beginning of AI. Let's dive into the different types of AI. Well, we have three types of AI. I'll be talking about two of them, starting with narrow AI. When I talk about narrow AI, basically, it's an AI which is meant to do a specific task, cannot do more than that. For instance, ChatGPT can answer your questions, but then ChatGPT cannot drive a car, as well as Tesla, the AI in Tesla cannot answer your questions. Neither Alexa, for instance, AI can be put in a robot. So it's a narrow AI. We call it weak AI. All right. So those weak AIs, they meant to do certain things. Yes, Rola.
Ayman, sorry to interrupt you. We are just asking, are you sharing your screen?
I am.
It's not showing actually.
Yeah, it's not
Ah,
showing.
well, okay. Sorry. Technology fails you when you need it the most. How about now?
Oh,
We
now
can see it.
we can see it now.
Yeah, sometimes the excitement makes you do stuff like this.
Thank you.
So I was talking about the concept, and I'm just gonna walk you through what I mentioned. This was the part about Alan Turing being the first minds behind AI, and then the one who actually is the founding father of AI is John McCarthy. That was 1956, and then we spoke about different setbacks, different AI winters. from the 70s to the 80s, and then another one from the 80s to the 90s. And fast forward, we have now different technologies based on AI with the help of and the underlying technologies like GPUs and so many other technologies. Then we went into the different types of AI, and this is when we realized the issue. So let's carry on. Um, I said there are three types of AI. I'll be talking about two of them, and I'm going to tell you why. The first type is called narrow AI or weak AI. It's meant to do certain thing, and the example was the AI in Tesla cannot answer your questions, and on the other hand, ChatGPT, for instance, cannot drive a car. So that's narrow AI, meant to do certain tasks, right? That's the first type. The second type is general AI. General AI it will be capable of doing more than one thing. The same AI that drive a car can answer your questions and can generate content and so on. Yeah, that's as a simple example. That's the first type. That's the second type. Now, this narrow AI or the weak AI is the present. Every AI around you is of type narrow AI. Every AI around you. Yeah, because we didn't reach general AI yet. General AI is the near future. All right. The third type of AI is called super AI. That AI supposedly is going to be smarter than human beings. We call it the theory of mind. It will understand and know its existence. It will have feelings as well. So that's the far future, right? So narrow AI, weak AI, general AI, we call it a strong AI. Now let's talk a little bit about machine learning. We all hear the term machine learning. Let's break it down in the simplest way possible. Let me tell you something. When you talk with ChatGPT, when you send prompts, getting responses, you are convinced that ChatGPT understand you, right? As well as when I speak to Alexa, for instance. But do they really understand this? Do AI really understand this? Uh, that's number one. Number two, if it understands how then it learned in the first place in order to answer my question. Well, let's remember that we're talking about a machine here, and machines, they do really understand zeros and ones. Yeah, they don't understand text. However, the process that I will explain to you right now will help you understand how AI actually get to know the context of what we speak and how it learns the different features and patterns and data and all of that. So at the beginning, we know the term algorithm. We heard about it. An algorithm is nothing but a bunch of code. Yeah, this code basically could be one, could be more than one. Those codes together, we call them algorithm. And the algorithm is a code that's meant to do certain thing. All right. In our case, this code is meant to learn. Okay. It meant to learn. Okay. Learn based on what? Learn based on or learn actually the data I feed it to. All right. This data could be, sorry, for a reason I'm switching. All right. So this data could be text. This data could be videos. Okay. This data could be images, any type of data. So based on the data I feed to the AI or I train the AI on or the algorithm on, the final output is a model capable of performing tasks based on the data it was trained on. So if I train my data on, or if I train my algorithm on text data, Then I'm going to get a model capable of generating text, understanding questions, answering questions, make predictions, all right, evaluate, get me the sentiment of the text, whether it was a positive feedback or a negative feedback. If I train my algorithm on a picture of an apple, for instance, well, then the model will be able to determine whenever it sees a picture whether it was an apple or something else. But let's say I trained my model on a picture of lots of pictures of red apple, and then I showed the model a picture of a green apple. Will the model recognize it? Well, models, when they make a decision, they always make a decision with a confidence score. So they will tell me, oh, that picture for the green apple, it's an apple with a confidence score of 50%. Not going to be 90%. Why? Because the model never saw a green apple before. That's when I take the model back to training and show him all sort of other colors of apple. Then when I show it a picture of an apple, then it will give me a higher confidence score. So basically, this is the overview of the process of learning in machines. But how do they actually learn? During the training, the model will look at the details of the data and it will create what we call machine learning data set. A data set, it's just a table, a couple of tables, all right, where it extracts the features. It will go like, okay, apple, I see a round shape. I see these different colors. This is the width. This is the height. So the different features that it sees, whether it was on a picture or in different type of data, it will gather all these features and put them in a data set. And that's where it will go to validate whenever it want to make a decision later on. This is a quick overview about this part. Now let's talk about machine learning approaches. Well, the famous ones are in front of you, from supervised learning to unsupervised learning to reinforcement learning. Let me summarize this. When I say supervised learning, it means there is a supervisor, there is a human being. So the human being sets the categories. The human being tells the AI, these are cars, these are airplanes. These are ships. Okay, so the AI goes to every group, learn the different features in that group. Okay, and now it knows how cars look like, how airplanes look like. But the supervisor, who is the one submitted the groups, the data labels. However, in unsupervised learning, there is no human being interaction here on the learning process. What happens is the AI learns on its own. All right. So what I do is I provide AI with all sorts of pictures of vehicles. And then AI will go learn the features, the patterns, the details of every vehicle, and then it will do the grouping on its own. It will tell me these are cars, these are airplanes, based on the similarity of the features. The unsupervised learning leads a lot of data. That's why we use it, for instance, in medical fields, where I submit lots of patient data to the AI, and then the AI will tell me, oh, these are diabetes patient. And it can show me even clustered information. And then it shows me diabetes type 1, diabetes type 2, and so on. Reinforcement learning, again, it involves a human being in reinforcement learning. And this is where basically, when the AI takes a good decision, I assign the AI good positive points. When the AI take a bad decision, I take some points from the AI. That's what we call reinforcement. I let it learn, take the decision, and then I come and validate. On top of this, the most advanced technique, which is based on this concept here, is called, they're all based on that concept, but the point is, what we mentioned earlier was, let's say, this is an algorithm that needs to be trained in order to perform tasks. Now, imagine with me those are different amount of algorithms in a network. They're all connected. Okay. So the process of learning that we mentioned earlier, scale it up, and now we have deep learning. Basically, deep learning learns in a similar way like human learns. We have cells. These cells, they need an input. There is what we call hidden layer. Every layer is a different algorithm. So when the layer receives the information, it discusses and talk with the other layer, and each layer takes care of certain features to learn until they make sure of the final decision. So I show an image to the first layer. Every layer would take care of certain features until they decide that, oh, it's a human face. That's basically how it looks. We have the input layer. We have hidden layers, not only one layer, hidden layers. All right. And we call these layers artificial neural networks, ANN in short. Now, to conclude, the difference between supervised, unsupervised reinforcement, i.e., traditional machine learning, versus deep learning, is that in traditional machine learning, the model will be very good in learning patterns. However, in deep learning, not only patterns are learned, but only um, features as well. So deep learning goes beyond traditional learning. The reason I'm saying all of this is that I'll come back to this in a bit. The reason I'm saying all of that is that when I talk about artificial intelligence, actually, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Deep learning is another subset of machine learning, which is a bit more advanced. When I talk about generative AI like ChatGPT and Copilot and so on, it's part of deep learning. That's the main point in here. So out of deep learning, we found we achieved applications like natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, for instance. And fast forward, we achieved generative AI as well. Generative AI, basically, if you remember the process, we have an input, we have an algorithm, and then the final result is a model, yeah, that capable of performing tasks. That was the flow. Well, this model we're talking about is called large language model. It's been trained on huge amount of data. Let's see some generative AI or generative AI concepts. Now, raise your hand if you have never used ChatGPT. All right, I'm not surprised. Now, please raise your hand if you have never used Copilot or type something if you never used Copilot. Right. Okay. Um, One last check. Raise your hand if you're still with us and you want to be interactive. You're not putting me like YouTube. Nice. All right. All right. Great. Thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Appreciate it. Now, when then definitely you know what generative AI is and the capabilities of generative AI. Generative AI will be able to answer your questions, continue on complete text or code, generate images, right? And so many other things. For instance, the pictures you see in front of you here on my screen is AI generated, and I will show you some prompt engineering techniques later on. The big companies or organizations in generative AI are OpenAI, which created ChatGPT, but then Microsoft created Copilot on top of OpenAI. And let me pause here and get your full attention. You are not supposed to upload your corporate data into ChatGPT because it will be used as part of the training for the model, which means it can be exposed if someone else around the globe asks a question about your entity. So no corporate, no classified data should go to ChatGPT. What is the solution, you say? The solution is Copilot, because Copilot has an enterprise um, uh, license, and it has a security layer where it doesn't send your data back to the model to train. It works on your data on inside your organization, inside your organization, every Copilot is actually having the same license um, as you do. So what happened here? Technology again. So every Copilot will have the same license as you. If you have access to certain files, Copilot will have it. If you can't see other files, Copilot then cannot see it. Imagine that a a someone who works in a help desk, and then all of a sudden this person asks Copilot for the department budget. That is not logical. So Copilot will work based on your individual license. That's the solution. Then we get companies like Meta, we get Stable Diffusion models from Stability. NVIDIA is very good for graphics, but the best for, one of the best for image generation is called Midjourney, and I will show you some examples in a bit. I'm going to speed up the rhythm of the class from now on. Generating generative AI resources, this is for your reference. Take a screenshot if you like. If you want to take Gen AI to the next level, you want to write code and so on, you can use these resources. Generative AI is able to create all of what we can see in front of us, from text to code to image, videos, and so on. Now, um, this part of the session is more crucial than anything we've been talking about. There is a new role, there's a new job on the market called prompt engineer. And a prompt engineer basically is someone who knows how to extract information from generative AI. And when we say generative AI, if you joined us late, we mean ChatGPT, Copilot, Midjourney, any AI that generates content based on large language model. So the prompt engineer has certain skills. It knows how to do, it knows how to ask the AI in general. Okay. Remember back in the days when Bing and Google were the best thing that happened to the internet? Well, let me say this. Okay. Well, there were techniques for people to search in Google. For instance, if I'm looking for generative AI, um, generative AI documents, I can basically mention, I can mention type colon PDF, and then I can direct Google to a certain site. I can say site Microsoft.com. And now I'm getting only PDF results from only Microsoft website. If you take a look at my search result, this is what I have. Only Microsoft website. So we had skills to learn. There were skills to learn to do the search. Similarly, you need skills to do prompting, right? So my personal opinion, I don't need to hire one person as a prompt engineer in my organization. What I'm trying to do is to make everyone prompt engineer, because this is a crucial skill for all of us, regardless of our job role. Now, let's take a look at this. Take your pick your favorite animal, all right, and then go for this prompt. Go for a photography of any pet. Type in at a typewriter, and usually wearing a small hat. This is where you stop. Usually, this is where your prompt stops. Okay, maybe you take it further and specify the scene in an office. That would be great. But usually, all of us we stop here. What you don't know is that In prompt engineering, you can mention the format, you can mention the tone, you can mention so many things. I will walk you through. For instance, in this image, we requested it to be realistic and highly detailed. Now, believe it or not, the image generated, the one you see in front of you, this when the model was not really well trained. All right, that's when we did this slide. But as a comparison, I'm going to show you now what is the result I got using the same prompt when I ran it um, earlier. So I ran the prompt like this: highly detailed, cinematic, aesthetic, and take a look at the result. Way different than the one we see on the slide. Yeah, highly detailed for real. So what I'm trying to say, when you write a prompt to generate text, well, don't forget to mention the tone for the prompt. Do you want it professional? Do you want it friendly? Usually, you write a prompt to generate an email, and then once the email generated, you follow up with another prompt to make it short. You should have mentioned that in the first time, in the first prompt, right? Make it short. I'm writing to my manager, all right? Um, be as descriptive as possible. Be as descriptive as possible. So I'm going to show you an example for being descriptive, clarity, and all of this. Hear me out. I'm going to say it once and for all. We don't have time, and then there is a lot that I want to share with you. Now, the first thing you do when you write your prompt is to set the persona for the AI. Remember, AI is trained on huge library of data. Yeah, so instead of gathering or generating your answer from all of this library, I'd rather set the scope right. So if I'm trying to create a business plan or I'm trying to create a project management plan or something, I need to begin like, you are a project manager. I'm setting the persona. I'm just going to start a new. There we go. I'm setting the scope for the AI. You're a project manager, right? There you go. Here. You're a project manager. That's how I begin my prompt. And then there is a concept called sectioning, and we do sectioning like this: 1, 2, 3 hyphens, or for instance, 3 hashes, and that makes it clear for the AI that I'm separating content now. The first one is called system message. The next one could be your primary content or supporting information. So if I say you're a project manager, then I follow up saying create a product implementation project plan, for instance. There you go. And then it will be able to create it in a better way. Once you set the persona for the AI, like you're a project manager, you're a HR manager, you're a graphics designer, all right, then it will generate more relevant content to what you want, right? This is one technique. The second technique is the sectioning part. And sectioning is usually used like this. If I want the AI to generate product description about a water bottle, all right? Usually this is our prompt, and we stop here. Well, the AI doesn't know anything about your water bottle product. So what you do is section, and then add what we call supporting information. Tell the AI that what type of plastic are you using. Tell the AI here from what falls you're getting your water. Tell the AI features about your product so it would generate more relevant information to you. Another example we usually use, show me flights from Doha to, I don't know, Honolulu, maybe. All right. Honolulu. All right. The answer I will get is so generic. Why? Because I missed the supporting information. Yeah, there we go. Multiple airlines. Maybe this is not what I want. Maybe what I want is a number of flights per day. Maybe I want the pricing. I didn't add all of that. So the AI will never understand me. That's why we feel sometimes that AI doesn't really generate the content that we want. So section, separate, and then go for supporting information. Um, uh, Show me flights from Qatar Airways, for instance, all right? Specific dates, maybe next week, okay? Any preferences, any support information that the AI can or it can help the AI generate a more relevant content to you. So this is in a nutshell prompt engineering, but I will leave you with many more techniques. I will add, I will share a link with you related to prompt engineering. Let me just grab it quickly. Effective prompt engineering. There you go. And I'm adding the content here in Arabic and in English for those interested in writing Arabic prompts as well. And guess what? I use ChatGPT to create this learning resource for me, and this was my prompt. Enjoy until I share the link over the chat window. All right. So you will see some techniques like providing context, like being clear. On top of it, it's um, the fact that prompt engineering is an iterative approach. You write a prompt, you see the results, you work on enhancing your prompt until you reach a prompt that works all the time. Save it somewhere, okay? Because next time you don't want to do the same approach, you use the same prompt you've used earlier. So this is in a nutshell prompt engineering. And my last tip here will be take a look at this. If I want to generate, let's say, generate an image about Souk Waqif while and and make sure it's snowing. Yeah, maybe this is not a good prompt. So what I will do, I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to write the prompt for me, to write an effective prompt. So I will go like, write a prompt using prompt engineering concepts about, and then mention what you want. Yeah, it's gonna be lengthy, it's gonna be long, but it will be way effective than the prompt that you will write. Take a look. Generate an image of Souk Waqif during a rare snow day. The vibrant traditional Qatari marketplace. See the details, the supporting information we usually miss. And that's the trick. Now, if your ChatGPT can generate images, you can run the prompt here. If your ChatGPT cannot create images, go to Copilot from Bing.com. Go to Copilot, sign in with your personal account, and you will be able to generate images. And let's compare. All right, I finished my quota. Sadly enough, let's focus on Copilot. There we go. And voila, it's raining on Souk Waqif. These are the different images we're getting. All right. And who wrote that prompt? ChatGPT, not even me. I gave him the idea only. So this is prompt engineering in a nutshell. Be descriptive, all right? Add sectioning, because those sections will act as if you're programming the knowledge. Programming the model. Every line you write is like a code you enter to the model. So make it clear for it. And when you add bunch of lines for it to summarize or to translate, and then you ask Copilot sometimes or ChatGPT sometimes might get confused between the content you wanted to work on and your request. So when you do sectioning, you're making it way clear for the AI to differentiate between your primary content, supporting information, and your final request, whether you want an image or you want information in a table format, for instance, and so on. Now, well, people usually say generative AI always provides satisfactory result, and this is not correct. Yeah, Gen AI can hallucinate. There is a term called AI hallucination. Because they learned a lot, they can really sometimes generate wrong answers. Let's just say it this way. All right. So we always have to check and validate and verify after the AI. But those who doesn't really work on their prompt, they feel that generative AI provides never provides satisfactory results because they didn't work on their prompt. Well, enhance your prompt engineering techniques, senor, and then we'll talk about whether the results were satisfactory or not. All right. Results don't need to be reviewed by human. Wrong. We always have to review the results. All right. Content generated by AI is actually stolen. Well, no, senor. We call it original content, which means remember back in the school, in the universities, when there was one example where people go online, copy the research as they are, and then they submit them. And there is the second example where they go learn and then they write their own based on their learning. AI is the second example. AI was trained on content, but then the answer you received it was generated for you. If all of us in this session issued the same prompt, we will all get different answers. So you can't say whether it was books or songs or music or content. It's not stolen at all. And it's not combined at all. It's new content. It's generative content. I mean, original content. On top of this, as prompt engineering technique, you can always ask the AI to validate and check its answers before it represents them or present them to you. And you can ask for resources and references to make sure that the AI from where it got this information. Will generative AI completely replace human labor? Well, no, it's not its role. Microsoft called it co-pilot. There should be a main pilot, and that is you. Yeah, it's an assistant. One day I was chatting to ChatGPT, and I was like, ChatGPT, dear, what do you want from us? And then ChatGPT was like in the orchestration of the fence, in the orchestration of any work environment. Copilot is an instrument. The actual player is a human being, and the output is efficiency and creativity and productivity and so on. So an instrument needs someone to use it, right? So it will not replace human being. I'm talking about generative AI. Generative AI will not replace human being. It might reduce them a bit, to be honest, but not replace them completely. Before I move on, I'm going to give you another example. My last example of prompt engineering, which helped me a lot validating and testing the model. On top of that, thinking with the model, I mean, brainstorming with the model and interfering if the model understood something or learned something wrong. So if I ask the model, what sport is easy to learn but hard to master, or what sport is the easiest, yeah, to learn, but let's say the most difficult to master, AI will answer. AI will tell me sport X. Okay, it could be tennis, for instance. It could be basketball. But then I don't know based on what it reached that conclusion. But the right thing to do when you're doing such research or when you're generating such content or when you're thinking or brainstorming with the AI is to ask the AI for For the chain of thoughts, show me your chain of thoughts, your criteria ending with your conclusion, right? Chain of thoughts and the criteria and the criteria you used. Yeah. For instance, only adding this to the model will make sure that the model validates its answers more logical because it will create certain criteria to compare the sports with, and then it will give you the answer. This will allow you um, this will allow you to interfere. If one of the criteria is not correct, then you write another prompt and say, hey, you were wrong on that criteria. Okay. So this will help you validate and test the model, brainstorm with the model, reach together, co-creation, reach together to the final result that you want. Remember, chain of thoughts and criteria used. I'm going to leave you with some tools to generate text. Feel free to screenshot the tools. And I know you're using snipping tool, but we are talking about Gen AI and AI in general. If I use snipping tool, for instance, with this screen in here, what you don't know is that snipping tool is now equipped with AI capabilities. If you click on this button here, your famous button of text of OCR, now the snipping tool will analyze the image and then it will extract the text and it allow you to copy the text. You can simply select what you want and copy it. These were tools for text generation. On top of that, you have some other tools for image generation and more tools for video generation.
Sorry, can we go back to the image? I didn't have the time to screenshot it. Thank
There you
you.
go. There you
Thanks,
go.
Ayman.
The best in image generation is actually mid-journey. And if you want to know why I'm saying that, that's my personal choice. When you go to mid-journey and you click on explore, look at the details of the images in here. Just take a look at the amount of details and how realistic these images. So based on what I've told you during this session, this must be a very, very detailed prompt which created these images, right? If you want to know, click on any image and then you will see the prompt. Look at how tiny this prompt is. That means the model is capable. Models that needs a lot of description might not be that capable, but this one is really trained on images and it can really do wonders. Look at this dark background, and that's it. We're good to go. Couple of lines. You go back, take another look at another one. Maybe this dude here. Yeah, this one is a bit detailed, right? Because it wanted to control the details, it wanted to control the shirt, the scene, and everything. And you still, yes, you can do that. So that's mid journey. However, for voice generation, go for 11 labs .io. That's one of the free tools that you can actually try. I know you have the question of then what tool is better, the free ones or the ones I pay for? Well, it depends, senor. Hear me out. The good tools are the paid ones, in short. Okay, so I'm gonna try this with a random text. Let me just save my Arabic text because I will use it as well. This is the Arabic text. Um, okay. Okay, I'm gonna use the text I prepared to end this class. And let's generate the speech. Of course, you can use or you can choose the voice, yeah, and you can play with the settings to in order to reach, let's say, a narrative voice, news presenter noise, voice, and so on. Okay, so you play with these settings. I modified them a lot, so I'm just going to reduce them. The last time I modified these settings, I reached the level where I can hear the breath of the person speaking. So she says, "Thank you for joining us today." That to that level. Let's generate and here. Meanwhile, I'm going to reshare my screen because I need to include the audio. And by the time it's getting generated,
Thank you all for joining us today. As we wrap up, let's take the insights and inspiration from this session and drive forward the future of AI and generative AI. Together, we can shape a brighter, more innovative world. Stay curious.
so yes, so you can make it more calm, you can make it more aggressive, more friendly. I know we have some Arabs in the call as well, and we usually face problems with Arabic. Let's face it, with these tools. But take a look at this, okay? And by the way, um, this part, the shadda here in al-Manna'i, I've added myself to make sure that it understands. So what I will do, I'm gonna remove it from this part, okay? And I'm gonna keep it on the other word. So you see the difference between this word and this word. And I'm gonna increase the exaggeration and increase the stability a little bit. There we go. Let's generate.
سعادة الوزير محمد بن علي المناعي يشارك بالجلسة الوزارية لمبادرة الرقمنة من أجل التنمية المستدامة الخاصة بالدول العربية. شارك سعادة السيد محمد بن علي المناعي وزير الاتصالات وتكنولوجيا المعلومات في الجلسة الوزارية رفيعة المستوى.
There you go. We've reached great results with Arabic, with English, with many audio generation tools. On that context, I'm leaving you with a list of let's see the audio because I've showed you the videos. Let's see the audio. If I didn't, I will go back to the videos. These are some tools. 11 Labs, the one I mentioned, is in here. Some tools to generate audio. That was fast.
If we can go back to the video, I noticed I have screenshots for everything except the video. Ayman,
There we go.
this is gold, by the way. I'm very happy I attended this session.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear so. The thing is just there is a lot that I want to share, but what we will do, we will run series from these sessions. And then every make sure you stay tuned and I'll make sure, or we will make sure that you receive all the all new informations, all new tools from this field. So Sura is an OpenAI model. It's not yet there for the public, but then I'll show you the capabilities. And I want to ask you a question. I will show you a video now, and you tell me the first thing you see when you see this video. The video will appear here on the background, and tell me what do you see? What is the object moving on the text window? The first object you saw. Don't take a deeper look. Yeah, I'm sure some of you saw kites, some of you saw fish, some of you saw planes, uh, and that's the beauty of this model, Sora, and that's the beauty of the prompt actually constructed this one. It is kites, they are kites, but the movement gives you the feeling that they're swimming or they're flying, and so on. Take a look at this website to know what's the capabilities. Take a look at this video, for instance, and down below is the prompt created the video. See, very simple. Simple prompt. Just mention the details of what you want the actor to have and set the scene, and you will get wonderful, wonderful results. This is Sora. To create training content, for instance, to create marketing videos, you can go for Synthesia, where it will create interactive videos for you. It will generate the avatar for you, the lip syncing based on the text that you will write, and so on. But one strong model as well is Runway ML. It generates wonderful videos. So, as we conclude today's webinar, let's remember that the future of AI and generative AI is actually in our hands. The innovations we discussed today were just the beginning. You need to dig deeper. Each one of us has the power to drive this technology forward because the prompts we use are part of the learning of those models. But we need to use those models responsibly and ethically. There are some attacks where people try to feed the AI wrong information. Let's say 200 people keep saying to the model 1 + 1 = 5. After a while, the model will learn and it will believe that 1 + 1 = 5. So we need to use these technologies in an ethical way. So let's take what we've learned today and apply it to our work, to our personal environment, to our communities, and our world. Stay curious, stay innovative, and most importantly, stay committed to making a positive impact. Thank you all for joining us today. Let's continue this journey of AI together. The
Ayman,
future
I
is
have
bright.
one last question. The
Yes,
redemption
tell me.
code, when it will be sent, for how can we redeem the code for our LinkedIn
Yes, it will
badges?
be right away. I was gonna hand over to Rola while I prepare it.
Yes, thank you, Ayman.
If
So
yeah,
yes, you will share this with us on the chat. And meanwhile, we promise you to have Q&A, or if you want to share your thoughts, your opinion with
yes, if
us, please feel free to turn on your mic.
yes, if you have any question, please right away shoot. What we will do now, we will share with you a QR code. This QR code, once redeemed, allow you to receive a certificate from Microsoft to boost your appetite for learning. This certificate will be shareable in social media. Feel free to share it on LinkedIn or print it. And it will add a training course to your profile, which means you can go back to information that we mentioned here, to different types of prompts that you can use, whether on your personal life or professional life. And as I was saying, let's keep learning. Just allow me a second. I will share with you the QR code.
Yes. Thank you for your positive comments here in the chat. And in case you are still with us, you receive it here, and we will follow up with emails to provide with those people who already left us the redemption code.
If you still can see my screen, then feel
Yes,
free to grab your phone, scan the QR code.
we're going to try together.
So once you scan the QR code, it will take you to this web page. If you're signed in my case, you will get this interface to click on redeem in order to redeem the code and redeem the course. But if you're not signed in, then you're going to need to sign in with one of your Microsoft personal accounts. It could be Hotmail, Outlook Live, any Microsoft account. And then you will be able to redeem. If you signed in and then you didn't see this interface, please scan again, and you will get the interface, or you will get the code. Once you redeem it, you will receive a badge like the one appearing at the bottom of my screen here. Yeah, and as I said, the badge is a link to a course and a certificate from Microsoft.
Ayman, you will be able to share the link to the QR code just in case, we can leave it to the
Yes,
people with the QR
definitely,
code idea.
definitely, definitely. That's a very good idea. For those who have their Microsoft account on their devices signed in already on their computers, feel free to click on the link I'm sharing right here. And this should add the code to you or to your profile.
Okay, so we have the code, we have the QR code, and I think we are good. We have no more questions in the chat.
Thanks for the positive comments. I hope you really enjoyed my flight. And good luck on your learning journey. I'm gonna share with you my contact details. Feel free to, I will return the code, don't worry.
We have a question if you will be
Feel
sharing
free
the
to reach out
presentation.
if you have any question.
Yeah. Ayman,
Yes, we can share the presentation. Yeah, why not? It's meant for you. So yes, anything that can help spreading the knowledge. That's what we do at TeKnowledge. So yes, we will share the presentation. Definitely. You got it, Mo.
okay, well, thank you so much. Is there anything else, Ayman, you'd like to add?
I just wish them all the very happy learning starting from now, and make sure you visit the prompt engineering link I shared with you and start practicing that. Remember my name, it's AI Man, and keep in touch. Thank you for joining. Wish you all the best.
Thank you, Ayman, and thank you everyone for joining. And stay tuned for more series like this. Thank you.